Hey y'all, this is the Zen and Coco podcast, where conversations are always centered on relatable and real as fuck self-care for super chill black girls. I'm your host Tameko, aka the Cocoa Butter Mama, and in this week's episode, I'm talking about investing in our self-care daily essentials. Do you have your daily self-care routines under control, girl? Because I don't know about y'all, but sometimes I feel like I have no clue what's going on. So I'm ready to jump right into it, y'all. So let's go. Enjoy the show.
You are now tuned in to Zen and Coco, the podcast centering radically unapologetic self-care for super chill black girls.
Hey y'all, welcome back. Oh my goodness, wowzers. This is episode number 5. I can't believe we are that far ahead. So welcome. Episode number 5, investing in our daily essentials. So this week I want to really kind of get straight to the business. Don't worry, but just a quick reminder, definitely please subscribe to the podcast. Check out all the other episodes if you missed it, especially my last one with my girl Rashina. It's my first guest appearance on the podcast. I had such a ball, had such a blast, such a good conversation. So we're streaming on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and all the other cool podcast players. So basically this week and moving ahead, I just want to get the vibe going, and let's kind of get into some quicker episodes. Maybe I want to say, let's get into some specifics on this self-care that I literally keep beating over the head, right? Let's break down each of the 6 major areas that I love to focus on, which, by the way, I have the 7-day self-care planner that I made. It's for free. So I highlight the 6 major areas of self-care that I want to start focusing on. So obviously, per the title, we're going to be starting with daily essentials, but we'll move through physical, emotional, social, spiritual, and intellectual acts of self-care in the next coming weeks. So I really want to kind of, explore what we're doing as activities in each of these areas, really, and discuss ways that we can improve or better tend our specific self-care needs. By sharing and just highlighting tools and products and stuff that we use to support, whatever we're doing, right? And I really just want to kind of share some of my faves. And I want to hear y'all's too. And, transparency here. I really love product sampling and testing out stuff. And I've had paid, sent product and things of that nature. So I would absolutely be transparent on if I'm pushing something that I'm paid to advertise for. I would be very transparent there. But otherwise too, I just really love shopping too, y'all. So I'm all about sharing just stuff that I love. So I want to mix all of that stuff in. And again, like I said, I really want to hear what y'all have to say about what you're using too. I love products. I love stuff. So let's talk that out. Anyway, so emphasis too, though. I'm also super crazy frugal. So I want to offer suggestions that are sensible and accessible. Everything, remember, emphasis. Self-care does not have to be expensive and super well orchestrated and overly time consuming to be effective and valuable, y'all. Okay, so it doesn't always have to be super bando flex, Let's work to find the harmony and balance with the big and the small acts of self-care and really celebrate how effective and meaningful and powerful the small acts of self-care really are. But with that in mind, okay, self-care on the other end of the spectrum, it's this balance, like I said, because self-care absolutely can be and should be self-indulgent activities and pursuits that you are choosing to super treat yourself, behind. But again, we're going to start with the daily essentials to really drive home the point that none of that topical stuff or the extravagant, picture worthy, Instagram worthy stuff matters if we don't feel well or whole physically, emotionally, or spiritually in the first place. Come on, common sense, right? So, and just, honoring that stress is a real part of all of our daily lives. You can't avoid it, that, I talked to y'all about toxic positivity. You can't avoid it. So and it comes in all forms, minor to major. That can look like, something happened with the car. Something is, the light. The light, it's an inconvenience, sure. But it's not like ending the world, all the way to major things, loss and tragedy. And, good grief. People are going through so much, right? So stress is real. And because of that, it's like also common knowledge that when you are poorly managing or just not managing your stress at all, it negatively impacts and affects our health, like in grave ways. This can look like mood disorders, weight fluctuation, sleeplessness and insomnia, headaches, high blood pressure. Oh my goodness, Black community, gut issues, fatigue, and just so many other things, right? So with that all in mind, I just want to always be a voice to remind myself that like self-care should be pushed and considered as a lifestyle goal, right? Where we're endlessly, like always building up, working out, strengthening our positive coping skills in stress management, endurance, because we know it's inevitable. The conscious experience is full of ups and downs, and man, those downs will hit you. So if you're not learning how to like navigate it and navigate it well and feel comfortable and confident navigating it, again, what are we doing? You're not really investing in your self-care. So again, let's just kind of start to frame self-care as like a positive skill and even a discipline on like, putting yourself and investing in yourself and making it be a goal and a pathway, So, all right. So let's get into girl Tameko. What are the daily essentials of self-care? Again, because I would like to remind y'all, I went over it, but that's been a few episodes ago, right? So when I'm talking about the daily essentials of self-care, I'm really talking about satisfying our basic daily needs, like proper sleep, proper nourishment, proper hydration, and hygiene, hygiene upkeep. So I think I also mentioned before that being properly attired and then, addressing your shelter or like home environment can also be included here. But I'm really just going to stick with the first four that I said, right? So, and something else that just kind of jumped into my brain. I love to be considering always operating in mindfulness, right? So let's just consider and keep in mind that any level of financial or housing instability or even mental and emotional unwellness, okay, can negatively impact access to self-care in all forms, in particular to daily and basic needs. So when I'm using these words, I just want to be able to honor the space of privilege and luxury, to have self-care conversations, if we are not currently facing any of those hurdles, right? And let's just be prepared to always uplift and commit energy and time and space and effort into helping any of our sisters that are in need by showing up with time, community outreach, outreach, support, dollars, donations, resources, links, car rides, whatever it is, okay? So just wanted to say that too, with respect to, I want to be addressing these issues because let's assume that we are existing in the space of privilege and luxury, but that's not always the case. And so self-care is most vital in those places, I would say, right? So anywho, let me shift and let's break down these daily essential areas, So let's start with sleep, right? So I don't want to beat you guys over the head. I'm going to use what I think should be common knowledge here. So plenty of studies have shown that like tons of us, like normal everyday adults existing in the world in 2021 are like not getting enough sleep. There's so many things and issues and oh my God, we're overworked, we're stressed, everything is a concern. Oh no, right? And not only do studies show that we're not getting enough sleep, but also that the lack of sleep, it literally has all of these negative impacts on our mood, our memory, our judgment, right? So we're all basically operating at like not optimized capacity, right? And basically, we need to always be looking for ways to try to find more rest. Easily said, I know, right? I am just as stressed as everybody else. We're trying to find the space to fit things in and really just, oh my goodness, I have a active toddler who's exploring and climbing and loving to get into more and more things now. And there's not a moment's rest there. And so I get it, right? So, how do we kind of practically start finding ways to like enhance the rest that we get, even if it's not always feasible to get more or practical to get more, how can I enhance when I'm getting it, So I love starting with all like acts of self-care with a realist like ritual in mind, right? Like I ask myself, like, where can I fit it into a time slot I already have like set aside in my brain for me, so that it's not a chore or that completely out of touch or out of reach. And so for sleep stuff, maybe that looks like, 20 to 30 minutes before I think I really want to get into the bedtime where you start the wind down sesh. So maybe that's like, okay, let's get rid of screen time. Maybe the TV's off, maybe the phone is down, and we're going to read or meditate or listen to some cool, chill music. I always feel like that can set you up for just feeling like relaxed and you're giving your eyes a little bit of a break. Like I said, no screen time. Of course, we're going to get into hygiene, but, any bathing or nighttime rituals that are involving any of your hygiene, of course, always a good way to kind of ease the day's gross off yourself and, get ready for bed. So that's another thing to do. Another thing is like decluttering and getting rid of like major distractions in your room. Maybe you have your video game or your like super crazy bright loud TV. Maybe you can like downgrade the size. Maybe your lighting is really bright, so you can just, alter that. Again, just making your space like clutter free and just like rid of major distractions is another way to kind of like make your sleep just enhanced, right? And also, just speaking of enhancing, just getting your bedroom like atmosphere and vibes, enhance the relaxation and calm. Get good quality mattress, invest in some nice, awesome pillows, get some quality bedding. Decorate with colors and themes that you enjoy, again, black it out with blackout curtains. Make sure that you can't see the light in the morning because it distracts you and now you're up. And oh my goodness, y'all, a sound machine, maybe it's not a particular one. I love, oh my goodness, this is so silly. My daughter got gifted a Hatch Plus and it's for kids, it's marketed for babies and children, but she sleeps in our bedroom. So I love this thing so much. I don't even know. And at this point, y'all, honestly, I don't even care if I don't even know if she likes it or cares about it. But I know that I love it. It's a nightlight too. It's one of the best things ever. Sound machine. Oh my goodness. Invest in it. Right. So anywho, those are just some things that I would say that, consider it. Kind of easy. Maybe changing your whole bedroom around is not, that's kind of an expense. So maybe don't start there. But I really feel like, again, like starting with the screen time, making sure that your rituals are up to date, get chill, get like relaxed, like let's enhance our sleep. So moving on. Okay. So again, I won't spend a lot of time here either. Nourishment. Okay. It's kind of simple and common sense knowledge that when you're eating whole and healthy diets, right? It's going to combat inflammation and memory loss and unhealthy weight gain. And you're reducing the occurrence of like, certain diseases. Yay. Healthy foods, right? Healthy diets. So it's important and highly valuable information, obviously. I'm not trying to downplay it, but I don't want to get too deep because there's more than enough information available. And I feel like, again, it's kind of common knowledge that, most of us know that we can totally be eating well and whole and healthy and improving a lot of aspects of our physical and mental and, internal health, right? So instead here for nourishment, I really want to kind of just emphasize the importance of gut health specifically. yeah, y'all, the brain gut connection is real. There's plenty of studies and just information also available that just kind of highlights like your biome, like your bacterial environment in your stomach. Like if you are full of nasty, yucky foods, then your bacteria in your tummy are probably also hating on your situation, and you're feeling and exuding like not so good feelings, you know? So again, like I said, the brain gut connection is real. So eating well literally changes your mood, too, and not just your body and your physical appearance. So, um, again, to combat that, you want to be thinking about whole and healthy foods outside of the realms of like changing your body, but it's really just about keeping your internal self optimized too, and making your mood and stuff improved, right? So, really, I would say that this kind of attention to care, it's evolved so much. We're all living so many different lives. So maybe this looks like, you know, if you can afford it, if you have somebody that can have a meal service, or you're able to get pre-prepared foods that are, you know, healthy and well sourced, go for it. That, you know, a convenience. But also too, if maybe you love to cook and you are frugal and handy in the kitchen, so maybe that's looking like taking more ownership over making and preparing daily meals. Maybe you can start at one meal a day that you're intentional about, that is going to be prepared with fresh and quality ingredients. Or maybe that looks like you dedicated a week to meal prep, that you have made healthy and fresh and yummy foods. And you know, and you set aside the time to make it. So now you have 5 days worth of meals prepared. Or maybe that looks like, hey, visiting your local farmers market and picking up locally grown foods and interacting with your community, and, you know, making sure to, eat well and eat locally sourced. That's really an awesome option. And we, like in my house, I love farmers market. Like, yum, let me just eat all these random yummy mushrooms and big giant carrots. And yeah, it's a great thing to eat your local farmers market's food, because a lot of the time the produce is like more big and just more yummy, and just, yeah, go there and do that. And oh, and look, a challenge though. So on the flip side of this though, the hard one is parting ways with something that you like love eating, but you know that it's not good to eat. You know what I'm saying? So that's also like changing your habit. Like it's not just incorporating good stuff, it's letting go of the bad stuff. And, you know, that's not easy. So challenging ourselves and meeting ourselves in the self-care to remember that it's not always about feeling good. It's about feeling better by making the hard decisions sometimes of letting stuff go. And, you know, again, so for me, I always feel like I am challenged with getting to the grocery store in a regular way. Like it's just such a task for me to physically go. I love leaning into delivery for groceries, specifically investing in a weekly food delivery box. We love Imperfect Foods. Shout out, yum, love them. We get fresh quality produce and like high quality meat and cheese and dairy and all kinds of yummy pantry shelf stable quinoas and grains and all types of yummy things for an amazing price, and everything is so good. And I love that that's an option. And so again, like I said, find the space that you need to make sure that you have some access, and try to, you know, eat well and whole and healthy. So again, in conjunction with eating well is also hydrating ourselves. So again, we won't spend too much time here either, because duh girl, we got to drink our water. Like, hello, we all know that you need to be staying well hydrated. Let's keep the melanin popping. Let's keep the skin gleaming. Let's keep all systems on deck and highly, you know, optimized and performing. So what I will say is, in full transparency, I have always had to add like some flair and some drama, you know, to my water as a youngster, and all the way up into current day. I am definitely one of those people that have been like, water is just so, you know, boring, and it's not, I don't feel like it's gross, but it's just, it needs some pizzazz, right? So, you know, to help me hydrate better, I have always leaned into making infusions, teas, you get it, you know. Water infusions are super easy to make, and they really punch up the flavor of your water. And just by default, the added flavor, it naturally just kind of like it increases your intake simply because, if you've infused some yummy berries and watermelon and citrus fruits into your water, you're just probably going to want to be inclined to just drink some more, right? And so in addition, you're also going to just benefit from the, additional vitamins and nutrients from the infusion process, that are coming out, the constituents of the the herbs and juices and berries and things that you've added, right? So, and another benefit is like, depending on what you're adding for the infusions, you may even experience like relief from minor ailments of the tummy, which is my favorite because I always got something going on in that regard. And like adding ginger to things, my fave, right? So, eco-friendly products that I like love that are perfect for hydration are reusable straws and water bottles. Like, as long as you keep them clean, you can always have an on-hand source for getting yourself hydrated. Like, there's no excuse, right? And so a few years ago, oh my goodness, this is another thing that I love so much. A few years ago, my sister got me this large, I think that the company is pronounced Beaker. It's spelled BKR. I think that's Beaker, but please, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. My sister got me this large water bottle. It's glass and it has like this big silicone sleeve on it. And I love it so much. And I loved it so much that I've purchased more, since then. And they were absolute lifesavers during pregnancy and postpartum, immediately postpartum, especially because this like big silicone sleeve. First of all, it's like awesome because it helps me feel like sure with my grip and I won't drop it and break it all to pieces. But it also just like keeps the drink nice and cold. And what an awesome investment. Love it so much. I will kind of say they're kind of heavy because it's glass, but also too worth it. As long as you have a bag or somewhere to store it, totally worth it. And I also love, they have plenty of bottles that have like the little infusion insert where it's kind of like vented, but you can put fruits and stuff inside. So you can literally walk around with your like cold thermos of water, being infused as the day progresses, adding fruit and just letting it soak all day. Yum, 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 right? So, okay. So let's round out the daily essentials with hygiene. Okay. I could talk to y'all all day here, but I'm gonna let y'all have some grace because this is where I thrive, y'all. This is where I thrive. I love making products for skin pampering and just yum, right? So look, like I said, I'm gonna give you grace, but for real, okay. Daily showers or baths are so critical for so many people. Just like what I referenced earlier, right? Like when it comes to self-care, like depending on what your challenge is, your daily struggle might be, trying to get to your daily essentials is not also easy, right? So imagine how many people's only alone time is in the bathroom. Okay. So hello, caretakers of any level, but especially the young ones. Shout out to me. I stay at home with my daughter and going to the bathroom, y'all. Whew, good luck trying to hide from your toddlers. Good luck. They're going to find you. Right. So, or maybe life is just like really super brutal now, and a good bath or shower after a few days of not feeling able to can like really renew your spirit and obviously remove those last few days of funk. So, practical, but also energetic cleansing from bathing and showers, right? So however you get there and whatever your need for it, it's for you to define and navigate. Okay. So boom. Anywho, morning and PM hygiene rituals can really kind of help set the tone for the day or relax and prep us for, or maybe not prep us, but relieve us rather of all that the day had to offer, right? So it's kind of like either getting the game face on, but also too unwinding after the game is over, right? So I just feel like we should all be using that flex to our benefit. It's the perfect self-care space to try new skin, hair, and nail products. Work on your dental hygiene. Are you flossing and doing all the things you're supposed to do? Get your water pigs, girl, get your teeth together. And of course, or taking specialty showers and baths. Man, specialty baths, y'all, they can be drawn with oils, herbs, milk, salts, sugars. Yummy, right? That sounds delicious. Girl, gather the candles and the music too. Like bathing is the perfect time for vibes and ambiance and just kind of being in meditation or pondering over your day, or maybe even going over what you need to be doing. Affirmations, like baths are powerful. And don't forget the spa tools to even further enhance it, like bath pillows, your foot scrubbies, all of your back scrubbers, all of that stuff, right? And so, again, dedicated hygiene rituals can really, really, really set the tone for the day and also kind of help you navigate through your feelings about the day that you've had, right? And so right now, my favorite thing is dedicated an AM and PM skincare routine. Again, y'all, I love skincare so much. I spend like a great deal of time finding things to slather on my face because I want to just gleam and glow and wake up and have radiant Beyonce looking skin one day, right? So I really feel like once I do the morning, I'm ready face, the day kind of face, I'm like ready to take over the world, honey. I'm ready to take over the world. And so some of my faves here in this space, I'm addicted to Origin products. I love the Fenty Skin line. I have all of those items. Love those things. And I have been really getting into using skincare tools. I have invested in an LED light wand and I think it's called a skin spatula, guys. And the brand that I'm using now is Spa Sciences. I am going to have to figure out some kind of way to actually visually show you guys all these things that I'm using because I absolutely love the skin spatula. It's an amazing tool. It literally, like, you put your cleanser on and you just like turn it on and it's like pulsating and it just kind of, oh, y'all, it's crazy and kind of gross a little bit. If you guys watch the Dr. Pimple Popper stuff, it's kind of like you can see how gross your skin and pores are when you're like using this spatula to go across the surface of your skin because it's like buzzing out all of the impurities in your pores. It's amazing and disgusting and awesome. So I would love to be able to kind of like put some posts up or put some links up once I wrap up here to make sure that you guys can look at some of these products that I love and maybe get you guys some. Again, I also want you guys to definitely be telling me, like, what are you guys using for your daily essential tools, and tell me what you're doing. I love to hear from you. And basically that's it. So, all right, y'all. I thank you so much for listening to the Zen and Coco podcast today. I appreciate and love all of you so much. Thank you for the continued support and love. This was episode number 5, investing in our daily essentials. And for sure, just check out the other episodes, especially my last one. Like I said, my first Zen and Coco guest. Lovely, awesome, amazing episode. Please check it out. And I'll holler at y'all next week. Peace.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, like, and subscribe so you won't miss the next Zen and Coco combo. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Zen and Coco, and follow host Tameko on Instagram at Coco Butter Mothers. Peace.